Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I will be reviewing Avengers Age of Ultron. This movie is of course the sequel to The Avengers, which a lot of people consider to be one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. So does this movie live up to the reception of the first one? Not really. Now before you all start hating on me, I actually did enjoy this film. There are some things in this film that I think really improved upon the first one. But for the most part I feel that this movie is pretty much taking the same route that the first film took, and it's not really doing anything new this time. The idea of the Avengers has kind of lost its charm because we already know that it's possible that a group of superheroes can team up for one movie. And this movie doesn't feel very necessary, it just kind of feels like a movie they had to make before they could make the Infinity War. As I said before, I like this movie. This is definitely not a bad movie. I just think that the first one was a lot better. So what is this movie about? Well, I think you can basically tell the story from watching the trailer. The Avengers are back together. Tony Stark decides to build an artificial intelligence named Ultron. Ultron decides that all humanity should be wiped out, and basically they have to stop him. Now before I start talking about the things I didn't like about this movie, I'm going to talk about what I did like. Of course this is the sequel to the first Avengers, so the Avengers already know each other, and that gives us a chance to see more character interactions. These characters all feel like they've been friends for a while now, like people who would actually hang out with each other in real life, and of course we've got the humorous Joss Whedon dialogue. I think one of the best scenes in this movie is the scene in which they're just trying to lift Thor's hammer, having fun at a party, because it just really shows how great these characters really are. Some of these characters they actually really improved as well, especially Hawkeye. Remember in the first film he was mind controlled for the majority of the movie, so no one really got to know him, and he was basically no one's favorite Avenger. This film definitely makes Hawkeye a lot funnier, and we get to see his family, which could be considered a spoiler, but I don't think it's that big a deal. There were also some brand new characters. It's the sequel to the Avengers, so of course they're going to be adding a lot of new Avengers to the film. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver were okay characters. I feel they could have used a lot more development because all the trailers would build them up like they were these really important, deep characters, and then you get to the movie and they're just kind of pushed aside. No one's gonna remember too much about them. Vision was cool though. I really liked Vision in this film. Although I really liked his character, I really don't know how I felt about the character design. It was mainly just the fact that he had a CGI realistic looking face that it looks good in a comic book, but in real life, it just doesn't work out the same. I liked his cape though. We need more superheroes in the Marvel universe that wear capes. One of the best parts about this movie though would have to be Ultron. What's weird about Ultron is that in this film he is not the character that you expected from reading the comics or watching the trailer for this movie. In the comics he is a much more serious and sinister villain, while in this movie he's much more comedic, kind of like Loki was in the first Avengers film. But I think by making the villain funny, he's definitely going to be a more memorable, more likable character. Now on to the bad. I should probably talk about that stuff now. This movie really didn't have anything that new to offer. It's a story we've seen hundreds of times. A man creates a artificial intelligence that's meant to save mankind, but in the end turns against them and wants to destroy it. I also didn't feel that this film was really leading up to anything big. Of course, the first film had the Battle of New York, which was talked about in the Marvel movies for a long time. But this movie kind of felt like it had a smaller scale to it. Like, it doesn't feel like something that they're going to be talking about for a long time in future films. It also didn't have the feeling that the first film had. The first film was like something completely new that we had never seen before. The Avengers in a movie. And then this movie feels like we've seen it all before, so it's not really as impressive as it was the first time. As I said before, this movie really felt like they kind of just made it because they had to before they could do Infinity War, and that's why I don't think it is a good way to end Phase 2. We've had some great Marvel movies in Phase 2. The Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy are definitely some of my all-time favorite comic book movies. And this is the Avengers. This is a team of superheroes in the Marvel Universe teaming up, so I felt like it should have had a bigger scale to it and just been a bit more exciting. The movie was also very falsely advertised. I mean, if you watch the trailer, you're probably expecting that this is going to be darker than the other ones. Joss Whedon also said in an interview that he was aiming for a sci-fi horror feel, which I love because I love horror films. But this is pretty much just your average, goofy, fun Marvel film, nothing like they described it to be. But other than those things that I complained about, I still did enjoy this movie. As I said before, it is a fun, goofy Marvel film. I definitely do recommend this film to Marvel fans. I don't see why you'd be watching Avengers 2 if you weren't a Marvel fan, but yeah, if you're not, then chances are you probably won't care about this movie. I'm Dr. Tomato, and I thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like the video or subscribe to my channel. I have a ton of other videos up on my channel, and I will be reviewing more movies very soon. Thanks again.